What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, that Nintendo Switch event a few days ago was so hype, guys. There were so many cool things shown off at that event, and I think Nintendo definitely knows now that this piece of hardware that they're coming out with has caught the attention of millions of people, and so many people are interested in the Nintendo Switch, and that presentation definitely showed off a lot of cool things. And so today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about all of the stuff from the Nintendo Switch presentation that I liked, as well as just the other details that were given out to like the press and like public as well, which came out after the event. And I'm just going to be talking to you guys about everything that I liked about the Nintendo Switch and like all the information that we got, and the stuff that I didn't like, because there's definitely some things that I don't like about the Nintendo Switch from the information that we got as well. And then I do have two little things that are kind of in the middle that like we can't say for sure unless we find out some other details, and so I'll be talking about that as well. So yeah, but there's definitely way more good things than there is bad things, so I'm going to be talking about the good things first with you guys. And yeah, there's a lot of good things because overall it was definitely a good presentation. And so yeah, the first thing that is really good about the Nintendo Switch is that the rumor we had for the launch day, March 17th, is incorrect. And in fact, we're getting it even earlier than that, because we're getting it the very first Friday of March, and we're getting it on March 3rd, 2017. And I gotta say, that is really good. I mean, I was looking forward to getting this system as early as I could, and you know, Nintendo, whenever they give like a title or whenever they announce anything for a certain time period, you know, they always just make it so late in that time period that I always feel so upset when they like actually announce the date. But this time around, when they said March, they literally meant like the third day of March. I was so happy when I saw that date. I mean, you know, like when they said Smash Bros for the 3DS was going to be a summer 2017, or not 2017, a summer 2014 title, and then it came out in like October or something like that. Everybody was like, okay, that is not summer. I was expecting like June, and you know, Nintendo always does that. And to see that when they said March, I was expecting like March 20th something, or like March 17th, like a lot of people were saying. To see it come out on the 3rd, that's definitely really good, guys. But also, coming from like another perspective, some people are thinking that Nintendo, like if you are following like Nintendo's investors and stuff like that, Nintendo is planning on selling 2 million units by the end of March. I'm pretty sure that's what they said. They want to sell 2 million Switch units by the end of March. And if this system is coming out on March 3rd, then I don't know if that's going to seem like a really big achievement, because you know, when people were saying that it's coming out on March 17th, if they actually sold you know, 2 million units by the end of March, with it coming out on the 17th, I guess that would be pretty impressive, because they came out midway and they still reached their goal. I mean, now if they just get like barely 2 million, or if they get a little over 2 million, but they had an entire month of this system being released, I don't know if that's going to look really impressive. But you know, I'm not going to complain about all of that stuff. That's up to the investors. I'm just saying that because that is something that people were mentioning. I'm just happy I'm going to be able to get this system early. Alright, another thing that they did really well in the presentation was they focused on all of those playing modes. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is going to be a system that has so many different ways to play this game, and there's so much diversity in the system. And they were really emphasizing that. They showed off like the handheld mode, where you've got the joysticks, or not the joysticks, the JoyCons inside the Nintendo Switch on the sides. You can pick it up and you guys can play it around. They show off tabletop mode, which is like where you can put your Nintendo Switch with the stand on some flat surface, like the guy did in the trailer. You could see, and then you can just take out your Joy-Cons, play them separately. And they also show off the TV mode, which obviously you just put the TV on, and then you put your Nintendo Switch inside of the dock and you can play it on the TV. So I really like how they did emphasize that. They showed a little funny skit as well with like with the guy who's like in charge of the Joy-Cons. He was like sitting down in like a funny position on the couch. He was showing like, all right, you can do this on the Nintendo Switch now. So it was a little funny. I like how they put a little goofy stuff in there like that. It was definitely a fun presentation. I know how a lot of people were saying that this presentation wasn't going to be so like, you know, like goofy and like, you know, like Nintendo themed, like how they always put a whole bunch of little skits and funny things, and how it was going to be more of like a focused presentation. But it was actually really funny. They showed off a lot of funny things in there, and yeah, that was definitely interesting. Alright, another thing that I want to talk to you guys about is those Joy-Cons. Now, those Joy-Cons are definitely really interesting. There were so many cool things that they mentioned about the Joy-Cons that I didn't even think could be possible. Like, I just thought that they were like these two little controllers that could come off on the side, and you know, they probably have like motion and stuff like that. But they showed off so many cool things. They showed off that they have motion. They showed off the IR sensor, which can like detect how far your hand is away from the actual Joy-Con. You can actually tell if like what what position your hand is in, like if it's rock, paper, or scissors. So that's really cool. And they also mentioned how the Joy-Con has like this new HD rumble, which lets you feel like ice cubes and stuff, something like that. Like you can feel ice cubes like in the Joy-Con, and if they add more stuff, like you'll be able to feel it. Now, from what a lot of people are saying about the press, like, or not about the press, but like what the press is saying about this new feature, they're saying that they don't really notice this difference. But you know, I'm gonna have to just get a Nintendo Switch for myself and actually like see if I feel something different, because I can't just take something that, you know, someone from IGN or Game Explain says. I really have to kind of look at it myself and see how it is, because maybe some people can notice it and some people can't. But yeah, I'll just have to see that for myself. It is cool though how they did focus on that. And finally, the last couple things are about the games. Now, the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is Splatoon 2. Now, Splatoon, when it was first shown off at that presentation, I was like, alright, let's see that port. Is it going to be a pack-in title? But no, it is a brand new Splatoon game. And man, does that look a lot of fun. Like, there's so many cool things. I love how you can like do that little spin thing to dodge like other people's like attacks now. It looks a lot of fun. There's so many cool new weapons, new sub weapons. You're still able to super jump. They figured out a way so like you can press X and just, you know, jump to a position by pressing one button on your joystick. You know, there's so many cool things that they put in Splatoon 2. Looks a lot of fun, but for a release date, they just said that it's coming out in summer of 2017. So it does look like we're gonna have to wait a little bit. I think it'll be like a late June or early July sort of release. I really kind of do wish though that it came out during the launch, but you know, if we do have to wait a little bit, I guess that's fine. I mean, we're gonna have other games to play, but yeah, Splatoon 2 definitely looks like a lot of fun, and yeah, I think that it's gonna be a great game. Alright, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is Super Mario Odyssey. Now, this was the 3D Mario game that we saw in the reveal trailer for the Nintendo Switch, and I gotta say, that game is amazing. It is literally what I wanted in my predictions video. I was talking about how I wanted that open 3D Mario game, and man, Nintendo listened. I can't believe when I saw that game, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, it was exactly what I wanted, and the graphics look so good in that game. Like, when Mario is running around in like New York City, you can see everything around it. The graphics are so good. You know, he's going in all different directions, and I think that this game is going to be amazing. Unfortunately, it is a holiday 2017 title, so we have a long ways to wait for this game. You know, there wasn't even any coverage for people to play with on that game today, and so it really does suck that we can't get this game at launch, but that's not going to be that big of an issue as Zelda is at launch, and you know, I'll talk a little bit about Zelda towards the end of the video. But so yeah, we do have a big Zelda game at launch, and I think that it is smart how they put Zelda at launch and not Mario, because obviously if they have two of their biggest IPs together, they don't want like people to like not buy, you know, Mario because they don't have enough money to buy two games and they just buy Zelda, or you know, the other way around. So I think it is smart how they are spreading it out, so like, you know, once people get more money and when it's the holiday shopping season in like November, December, people will be able to buy that game. So yeah, it looks really good. I can't wait to see more of that game. I'm so happy though that it is an open 3D Mario game. That's definitely going to be a buy for me this year. And so yeah, the last good thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the third-party stuff that they mentioned. Now, I did talk about how I do want third parties to show up at this presentation. That's what I mentioned in my previous like video with like what I want to see at that presentation, and they did do a good job of that. They brought out like a few people from Sega and EA to talk about like FIFA and stuff like that is coming onto the Nintendo Switch. It was really good, but you know, I kind of felt like they were like hesitating a little bit, or it could just be the translator who was like translating, because you know, he was talking kind of a low voice and not with like a lot of enthusiasm or something. But from the way that just the developers, the third-party developers looked on stage, I don't know why, maybe you guys didn't notice it, but to me it just seemed like they were a little bit hesitant and they weren't like really enthusiastic about developing for the Nintendo Switch. But then again, I could just be completely wrong about this. So yeah, you know, they did talk a little bit about that, like FIFA's coming, Sega games are coming, Skyrim was also mentioned to be coming as well. So it is good. I did like how they showed off a little bit of the third parties. I did want Nintendo to show that so that, you know, people are, you know, assured that third-party games are going to be coming onto the Nintendo Switch. Alright, and so with that, that is pretty much all of the good things and that the stuff that I'm really happy with. And now we're going to be moving on to two things that I'm still a little bit unsure of. I can't really say if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. And the first thing is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, some of you guys may be wondering right off the bat, like, what do you mean Mario Kart 8 Deluxe you're unsure of? Well, the thing is, I was looking online to see like how much this game is going to be. And it's going to be a $59.99 game. And so here in America, that is like the full price that you get for a game. So a $60 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game. And from what they showed off in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe trailer, it doesn't look like it's going to be a lot more like content. You know, it's going to be just a few more characters. They showed off like King Boo, Inkling, Drybone, stuff like that. And then they show off like that all new battle mode. And, you know, I think they might put like a few more tracks or something in there, but it's going to be another $60. But I don't know if I'm willing to pay another $60 if I'm just going to be getting Mario Kart 8 that I already have on my Wii U with a little bit of more characters and, you know, a new battle mode. Like, I don't think that that is worth $60 or like an entire $60 of like a new game that I already have like 80% of the features of. Like, you know, I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like I already have 80% of the game on my Wii U. That's what I'm trying to say. And I don't know if it's worth paying $60 again just to get a new battle mode and a few new characters. And the reason I'm putting this is in the unsure category is because we don't know everything about this game. You know, they did mention at the treehouse how there is stuff that we still don't know about it, and so I'm not gonna judge right away. I'm not gonna say that this game is horrible or this game isn't worth the $60. I'm gonna let them, you know, announce everything they can and let the game come out, and then I'll give you guys like my full like prediction on like what I think of the game and stuff like that. But right now, I just don't know if it's worth $60 for just a new mode and a few new characters. You know, if they add a few new cups, I can see that a little bit, but I don't know how I feel about that. And the second thing is Nintendo Switch Online. Now, for a while now, Nintendo Switch has, or not Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo systems in general have always had free online. And they did mention right away in the beginning of the Nintendo Switch presentation that the Nintendo Switch is going to have paid online. But when it comes out in March, you're going to have like a free trial period, and then you're going to be able to pay. Then you're going to have to pay online. You're gonna have to pay to play online. And so I don't know how I feel about this yet. I know some people are definitely like really disappointed. They're like, oh, why did you do that? You know, I don't want to have to pay money to play online. And, you know, once again, I am unsure about this. I'm not gonna say right off the bat if this is a good thing or if this is a bad thing. You know, if Nintendo, apparently you are gonna be getting like free games for like purchasing the, you know, like the online program, so you are going to be getting free games, which is really cool. But I don't know how good this is going to be. They said more details are going to be announced soon, so we'll have to see what stuff comes with this online subscription, and then I'll be able to give like my full review and everything on that. But I don't know how I feel about it right away. You know, if we're getting like more stable online for like games, and you know the servers are going to be better, that's pretty good. They did mention how voice chat is going to be coming, and somehow it's going to be implemented with your smart device, so we'll have to see how that comes out. But in the end though, it also depends on the price. Like if it's only like a $10 to $15 like a year or something for this subscription, then that's not an issue. But if it's like $60 or $65 a year, kind of like how Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, I think, PSN, I don't know if like I think it's $60 for them as well, so $60 a year. If it's something like that, then we'll have to see how good the online services actually are. But yeah, I do want to see I want to see everything about this before I give like my full judgment on what I think of it. So that's why I'm still unsure about how I feel about Nintendo Switch being paid for playing online. And so yeah, and now finally we're gonna be moving on to the bad things for the Nintendo Switch presentation as well as the news. Alright, so now I would like to talk about the bad things from the Nintendo Switch presentation, as well as some bad things from the news that we got about the Nintendo Switch as well. And guys, this is just my opinion, so if you have different thoughts on how you feel about this, you can definitely comment them down below. I'm always curious to see what you guys have to say. And you know, there aren't that many bad things too, alright? You know, overall, this presentation definitely had way more positive things than there are negative things. I only have two bad things that I want to mention. And yeah, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the launch lineup. Now, Nintendo posted a picture on their Twitter, and I'll put it on screen for you guys right now. And you can see that this is a picture of what you can get for the Nintendo Switch on day one at launch, as well as some of the other games that are coming out throughout the year for 2017. And you guys can see right there that that launch lineup, or for the day one launch for the Nintendo Switch, that does not look very good. I mean, there aren't that many big games on day one that you'll be able to get on the Nintendo Switch. And I think that this is definitely going to be an issue because the only big game that you would want to get on day one is The Legend of Zelda. That's the only game. And, I really do feel like this is an issue because, a lot of people, I'm sure, Zelda definitely has a big fan base, but I'm just saying, if there are people that aren't interested in Zelda, there aren't that many big other games that they would want to purchase a Nintendo Switch in order to play. And I think that that's definitely going to be an issue. I mean, even when the Nintendo Wii U came out, Super Mario or New Super Mario Bros. 2 was, or not New Super Mario Bros. 2, New Super Mario Bros. U was a big title that people wanted to play, and it sold systems. And obviously we do have Super Mario Odyssey coming out later this year, but I think for day one, Zelda is the only biggest title. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, or I've never said this, but I've never played a Legend of Zelda game in my life. Now, I don't hate the series at all. It's not like I hate Zelda or I hate any of those things. I absolutely like the franchise. I just never got to play any of the Zelda games, and I never played any of them, but I will say that Breath of the Wild definitely has caught my attention since I saw it for the first time at E3. When I saw that trailer, Breath of the Wild definitely caught my attention, and that game just looks so beautiful, and it looks like it's gonna be a very interesting game. And so I'm definitely gonna be purchasing Breath of the Wild, and it's gonna be the very first Zelda game that I'm ever gonna play. But like I said, I mean, there's not gonna be many people, there's gonna be a few people out there who aren't interested in Zelda, and if they don't like any of those other games, because you can see right here, those other games, while they are pretty cool games, they don't look like they could be system sellers, and I think that that's definitely going to be an issue for the Nintendo Switch launch. I really did wish that Nintendo had learned from the Wii U's launch that you need a good launch lineup in order to sell systems on day one. And so yeah, I really do hope that some other games are announced in the future, but the fact that we're so close to the launch for the Nintendo Switch, it doesn't seem like they could announce any other games that are going to be coming out on day one. So that is one bad thing that I think, the launch lineup, but you guys can definitely comment on what you think of it down below. And finally, the last bad thing that I'd like to talk about is the pricing. Now, I know how a lot of people are disappointed that the Nintendo Switch is going to cost $299.99. And I know how everybody was expecting like $250, that's what all the rumors were saying, but I'm not that disappointed about the price for the Nintendo Switch. I think the price for the Nintendo Switch isn't that bad. It's only $50 more, and I know how I'm saying only, and that number could be significant to some of you guys, $50, but I think that as long as it's $300, that's fine. If it was over $300, we would have had an issue, but I think keeping it at $300 is fine. But I don't know how I feel about all the other stuff, because while I was looking through Nintendo's website as well as just other retailers' websites, it's very expensive for all the other things that they're putting out for the Nintendo Switch, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about are the JoyCons. Now, those JoyCons, they're like the 5-inch little controllers, and if you want to get just one of those, it's $50, and if you want to get two of them, it's $80, and this is insane. Like, how come these controllers have such a high price like that? Like, you can't just say like, oh yeah, because of the new HD rumble and the gyroscopes and IRs and all of that we have to raise the price like that. I mean, it's a little 5-inch controller, and I understand that it has a lot of power and stuff like that, but $80, man, that's just a lot of money. Like, I was planning out like what I was gonna get on day one for my Nintendo Switch, like purchases, like on day one what I was gonna buy, and even though we didn't know the prices for everything, for two Joy-Cons, I was always estimating like around $50 or something, and $80, that's just a lot of money. I don't know how I feel about that, and $80 is definitely a big amount of money just for two little controllers, especially $50 just for one half of a Joy-Con. I don't know how I feel about that. Also, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, that controller it was rumored to be like $50. That's what people were saying, and it's gonna be $70. So, you know, I don't know how I feel about this. The accessories are definitely really expensive for the Nintendo Switch. Hopefully they'll go down, but I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe you guys can let me know how you guys feel about the Nintendo Switch prices. Do you guys think it's fair? Do you guys think that, you know, I'm just taking it a little too far? But you guys can definitely let me know how you think about the pricing. And you know, another thing I do want to quickly mention though are the two different like configurations that they have for the Nintendo Switch as well. I don't know about you guys, but to me it just doesn't seem to make sense. Now you have two different boxes, none of them come with a pack-in title, which is really surprising to me because Nintendo consoles always have come with like a pack-in title since the Wii, you know, Wii U, or actually no, I guess the Wii U, if you got the basic edition you didn't get it, but you know, Nintendo Land, Wii Sports, and I really was sure that the Nintendo Switch was going to come with some type of pack-in title as well. And I think that new game that they showed off, the 1-2 Switch, I think that would have been the perfect pack-in title, but it's not going to be a pack-in title. But for the two configurations that they only have like, they have one where it's like red and blue, but it's still a black Nintendo system, and then they have one where the Joy-Cons are gray, but it's a gray Nintendo system as well. But I don't understand, like, why do you have two different colored Joy-Cons, but you don't have like the actual system that's a different color as well? Like, I don't know if you guys think that makes sense, but I don't know why. For me, it just doesn't seem right. I don't know why they would just do that and then have like two different configurations just to have two different colored Joy-Cons in the beginning. Like, even all those like mock-ups and fan art that we saw once the Switch was revealed, all of those different colors, the Nintendo Switch dock was a different color as well. And you know, I don't understand why if you're getting blue and red Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, then the actual dock isn't blue or red either. Doesn't seem to make sense to me, but you guys can let me know. And so yeah, there you guys go. That is everything that I'd like to say about the Nintendo Switch presentation, the Nintendo Switch news, a few things that I'm unsure about, as well as the bad things. Definitely let me know what you guys think about all the stuff that I mentioned, as well as your overall thoughts on how you are feeling about the Nintendo Switch now, and after like hearing about all of this stuff. Let me know down below. I'm always curious to see what you guys have to say, and I'll be sure to respond to as many people as I can. Definitely leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. It really does help me out. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're hyped for Nintendo Switch and you just want more Nintendo content. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero for video interactions and updates and stuff like that. And yep, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.